And the sun is the reason why we're always wearing protection here in the studio. By the way, it's clear the incoming Republican House majority on the Hill is making repealing the health care its number one priority. But what do Americans really want lawmakers to tackle first? To find out what Americans are saying, we're joined by our Radio Rumble extraordinaire from Los Angeles, Leslie Marshall. From Miami, the author of If You're Going Through Hell, Keep Going, Doug Giles. And from Boston, the author of That's No Angry Mob, That's My Mom, Michael Graham. Welcome to all of you. Doug, let's start with you. What do your listeners say that you want to, what do your listeners say that you want that should be tackled first?
They want to repeal Obamacare. I mean, they know it's pretty much not going to happen, but they want to see Obama take his pen out and veto it so that our American public can see him diss 70% of them.
And what are you finding, Leslie?
Oh, boy, that's not true. My listeners aren't saying that at all. And I have to say, even though I'm a liberal, I have both conservatives and liberals that listen and call the program. Number one, the economy, turn it around, create jobs. That goes hand in hand, period. That's the way it was before the election. That's the way it is now.
Michael, you were at the forefront of the creation of the Tea Party. You witnessed it, watched it, fueled it. What are they saying?
Well, obviously, Obamacare is there, but I think they want to avoid the screw-ups from the 1994 takeover by the Republicans. They don't want to see stupidity. President Obama is out on the campaign trail. In fact, we just found out yesterday he spent almost half of his time in office so far out campaigning and giving speeches instead of in Washington. And the conservatives want to see an articulate spokesman and leaders in the Congress who can make the case, for example, that Obamacare is a jobs killer. So they just don't want ranting and raving. They want to see some intelligent leadership.
But they must be, in a way, they see their president who is wounded politically. But I saw a Gallup poll, Doug Giles, that shows he has approval now of 50%. Are your listeners more apt to listen now that he doesn't have quite as much power?
My listeners are completely tone deaf to Obama because he seems like they've been tone deaf to him for the last 24 months. So I don't know if he's really ginning up favor with the Clash audience.
Leslie, what I'm also hearing about is, I understand that, in 1946 the baby boom started, so now we're witnessing a lot of them retiring. Is there concern by the baby boomers that they're going to just drain Medicare out for the current workers?
It's not just a concern by the baby boomers, but all Americans, but this is common sense. You have 10,000 people becoming seniors a day, and that's going to last for 19 years. I'm not a mathematician, but I do know 2 + 2 is 4. We had 65 years to figure this out, guys. For 65 years, we knew that people that were born 65 years ago, that this would happen today. So this is a really bad act on our behalf regarding prevention.
Right.
And certainly Americans are concerned. But you know what? I'm not going to get a dime, so stop whining.
I guess so. You're not going to get a dime, and you agree with most of America. Only 18%, Michael Graham, thought and believed that it'll be there for us when we retire.
I love the idea of liberals like Leslie who say, look how badly the government screwed up Medicare. Let's give them all of health care to run. I mean, when this plan was proposed, it was supposed to cost $12 billion by 1990. When 1990 rolled around, it cost $112 billion. Like Get Smart used to say, missed it by that much. This is why we've got to get the government out of the healthcare business, because everything they touch, they screw up. And no, the baby boomers don't care. They'll take every dime of our money and leave us flat broke.
And check out this poll, Doug Giles. Baby boomers fear outliving Medicare. Yes, 61% of Americans who favor raising Medicare taxes to avoid benefit cuts. So they're willing to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I believe that poll. I don't know what GFK stands for, but every answer from the liberals, every answer is always raising taxes. And my listeners, they're not down with raising taxes. I think anybody who raises taxes ought to be viewed as somebody who bites old women.
It's an AP poll, by the way. But let me just bring this up too, Leslie. 60% say raise the age, and by the way, Lindsey Graham says if you want to raise the debt ceiling, one of the things you got to do is raise the age of Social Security as well. But 60% are willing to raise the age because they know we're sticking around on the planet longer.
Well, that is a fact, and I know a lot of people in my camp don't agree with me on this, but I'll tell you one of the reasons I think it's a good idea to raise the age. There's direct correlation between idleness and Alzheimer's. There's also a direct correlation between idleness and obesity, which we have a huge problem with in this country. The people that live the longest on the planet, Sardinia, Italy, etc., they work until they drop. And being a workaholic myself, guys, I say go ahead, raise the age, because I'm hoping to keep being employed at that point.
And Michael, final thought?
Well, people want to see the wealth stay with the people who earned it as much as possible. And that's one of the fundamental problems of Medicare. You pay in $1, you'll get back $3. Well, where's that $3 coming from? It's somebody else's money. And I think a lot of people want to see Congress address that.
All right, Michael Graham, Doug Giles, Leslie Marshall, good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's your Radio Rumble. Stephen Graham.